Welcome back to another episode of What's Brewing with Humble Joe's Coffee. Our special guest is Kendra Zumhingst. Kendra is all about our community through and through. She is married to Dave and will celebrate 25 years of marriage this January. She has 2 children, Crinsley, 16, and Jadrix, 18. And she is currently serving as a host mom for an exchange student from Italy. Over the past 7 years, the Zumhingsts have hosted 7 exchange students in total. Kendra works as a senior IT project manager for a large healthcare company, but her true passion is the work she does within our community. Working on the Park and Rec Board, Plan Commission, and leading the charge on the Youth Triathlon are all some ways that she has served in the past. Currently, she is the chairman of the board for the Seymour Oktoberfest. Let's just say she loves giving back to our community. I'm really looking forward to chatting with Kendra. Hey, welcome everybody. It's Justin here with Humble Joe's Coffee, and we're here for another episode of What's Brewing with Humble Joe's. I'm Justin alongside my co-host and my anchor, Murphy. Murphy, glad to see you. And then special guest, Kendra. Kendra, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Before we get started, I know that some people see this strange guy to my left, your right, and probably wonder who's Corey. So I wanted to just open it up just for a little bit of time for Corey to share a little bit about, himself and kind of how we got to know each other, and then we'll jump into talking to Kendra.
Do we really want to go into that?
Nothing like putting you on the spot.
No, I think I was told about your coffee, and a mutual friend hooked me up with a sample, and I sent you a voice message on Instagram, like a review, and you said, can I use it? And then the next thing I know, I was doing the voiceover and teaching an AeroPress class or 2 for you, and been friends, I guess, since. So.
I mean, I would say friends, I guess.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
I mean, a lot of people think that you're employed by us, but
I keep hearing that.
We have people that help us, but we don't pay anybody.
No, you don't pay anybody.
That's kind of how it works. Except for my media guy, he just said he's sending me an invoice today.
Sweet.
Thanks, Steve.
He's good like that. I'm actually paying him here in a minute.
Yeah, it's good for you. But no, I do appreciate your friendship, and I like, this coffee journey. It's been like 2 years now, and you've always been there to give me positive feedback, negative feedback, and you're always good for a nice laugh.
Yeah, thank you.
So, Kendra, I'm going to put you on the spot, and we've known each other for, I would say, probably 15 years now. Why don't you tell everybody how we met?
We met because we were church small groupies. You didn't even have kids at that time. I think we had 1 kid at that time. So, so we met through small group. He lived through my pregnancy days of crazy emotional Kendra, and still managed to speak to me out in public. So there's that.
Well, sometimes I speak, sometimes I just try to walk on by. The thing about Kendra is I think of her as like my much older, wiser sister. We kind of fight sometimes like dogs. Speaking of dogs, we have a special guest here. Murphy has his new dog here hanging out with us.
Yeah, she sees a cat. We haven't decided if we like cats, apparently.
But I appreciate your friendship and coming on and chatting with us about the Oktoberfest.
I've always got something to say about the Oktoberfest.
So, we're going to be in the Oktoberfest this year, and we're really excited about it. A little anxious because that's a big undertaking with a lot of people. But we'll handle it, and it'll be fun, and we'll have a lot of good times. But when I think of Oktoberfest, I think of Kendra, because you're always there. You're always out there helping people out and involved and being a great leader for the community. But as far as Oktoberfest goes, what is your official role, and what do you do for the event?
So I am the chairman of the board. For the event itself, my main goal for the weekend is I'm the food chair. So I take care of the setup and the maintenance, everything to do with all of the 72 food vendors this year. So we do that, and I have other roles in addition, but that's mainly it. And then a lot of the administrative part of running a not-for-profit.
So you just work and do Oktoberfest things like 2 or 3 weeks before, or is this a year-long project that you're planning?
This is a part-time, unpaid job year-round.
It's kind of like Humble Joe's.
It is not a board that you, for me, that you go in and make decisions once a month and go home. It is a year-round answering emails, phone calls, questions. People, I bet I've had 15 emails today of people looking for space for the Oktoberfest, right? Like we're 2 weeks away. Like we've had this decided since May, so it's just I think a lot of people think Seymour, small community, throw together festival, but this is a big thing that happens and takes a lot of time. And I always say it's the biggest adult game of Tetris that you've ever seen. Making sure that everyone can fit where they need to, that they don't stick out, that they don't take up too much power, that they can get to the right disposal areas that they need to. There's just a lot of things that people don't think about other than, hey, I want to get my Soddy Bobby and funnel cake.
And Humble Joe's coffee.
And Humble Joe's coffee.
Even though I know you hate coffee, I despise coffee.
That's why we're not drinking it
I don't
now.
even know why you're here, but thank you for coming anyway.
I wouldn't say I despise it. I've just
You
never
just
tried it.
smell coffee.
I don't like hot things.
Okay.
So I've never tried coffee, but I don't like coffee flavored things. So I just assume I wouldn't like it.
So for the event itself, how many total volunteers that weekend do you think Seymour has involved?
So we have about 15 on the board, 5 from the city that are department heads that help out, an additional probably 30 volunteers that help out in one capacity or other, whether it be on site or at one of the events. The parade takes 20 plus volunteers to make that happen.
Murphy, have you ever been in that parade?
Yes.
What for?
The Seymour Young Marines.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a volunteer staff with them, and we've done it, I think, twice now that I've been part of it. Yeah.
Did you dress up?
No, I'm basically just there to give the kids like left and right lateral limits to make sure they don't stray too far.
Now, how many kids are in that organization here?
Right now, I think we're up to like 40, maybe. It depends, seasonal, right? Like fall, spring. That was pretty awesome to watch.
Stink bug attack.
Fall and spring, we lose a lot of kids to fall sports. So right now we got about 30, I think, total. Yeah.
I think I remember being in it several times when I was in band in high school. It's a long, slow parade. It seemed like it takes hours. And sometimes in October, it's pretty hot.
Oh, it does get pretty moving. But I got a question actually about the layout. Is
Yeah.
there pretty much set stuff? Like, it seems like there's always mainstays, and then you kind of got to fit other people
Yes.
in just wherever you can
Yes,
that don't
so
show up. Is that it?
everyone that behaves and follows the rules that they're supposed to is welcome back the following year. So it's
Okay.
always first chance is to people who have already been there. So in the event that you behave and do what you're supposed to, and I say that because not everybody does. We have people that do, random things that get themselves, no longer welcome back by not following the rules or tearing up downtown or, trying to throw punches on people. That's one of the things. But yes, so the mainstay, so this year we only had 5 moving parts that we had for one reason or another. So we have 5 new ones this year. And Humble Joe's is one of them.
Yeah, I was just curious because I see like a lot. If I go down there, I see a lot of the people. You kind of know where certain people
Yes.
are, and
There's absolutely nothing that will rile up a vendor quicker than if you potentially talked about moving them. It is an established thing that people know where to go and they don't want to be moved.
It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
People know exactly where they're at. Last year was the big anniversary, 50 years, correct?
Yes.
Tell me the amount of work that went into that versus the normal years, and what are some things you learned through that process?
So I think that we had a 50th committee that really focused on all of the extra work. So I personally didn't necessarily feel the burn of all of that extra work. Our marketing committee did a really solid job of doing a lot of extra work that we usually don't have to do. So I would like to credit Ben Stahl, Solomon Rust, Jordan Rehar, Lawanda Ted to be able to just say they did a great job of making sure that I didn't feel that extra pain of that. But we had a lot of cool stuff. We gave away a trip to Germany for the passport program. Awesome. That was a trip for 2. So local guy, Jim Reber, won that. So it was a cool thing to watch.
So bouncing back to Germany, you've had a foreign exchange student from Germany, correct?
2, yes.
Have they been here to experience our Oktoberfest?
Yes.
And what did they say about it versus real life Germany?
So it's a very Americanized Oktoberfest.
Yes.
Kids here don't experience Oktoberfest like they experience
Yeah.
Oktoberfest. I always say, a lot of other countries experience things that we have age limits on, that that here we have age limits, and so they don't experience that here.
Makes sense. Murph,
Poor kids.
yeah. Favorite Oktoberfest memory?
Ooh, come back to me.
Come back. Okay, I'll go ahead and share. When I was I've been waiting all day. When I was a teen, I was working in a booth, so I was there from the time it started to the time it ended. And then once it was over, it's like me and my buddies just kind of ran the streets of Seymour. It's like we thought we were the coolest kids ever, just to see, like, you know, the lights are out and it's kind of like everything's shut down, and we were just able to have free reign of walking through the Oktoberfest and thinking we were cool. I mean, that was my coolest memory.
I'd say mine was like, you know, I don't know about the coolest, but I separated into like when I was a little kid, and I'd go there with family and hit all like the little vendors and stuff. And I remember walking those streets, not knowing where I was at because I wasn't from Seymour, so we would come down here for various things. And then all of a sudden it was like, fast forward to like older years, I'm drinking there. And I remember drinking one year to the point where my buddy that's from here was like, dude, we got to move on. We got to get out of here. Like, we went somewhere else. We went to the VFW or something around the corner and drank there because I was able to get us in there for cheap. So I don't know about favorite, but it's, you know, it's definitely something that I've been part of a lot.
And to go along with the drinking, we will be set up right outside of the beer garden.
Look at that.
So when
Smart.
people come out, make sure you get your Humble Joe's coffee to help yourself get home.
Sober up, yeah.
Sober up, yeah.
I feel like that's not how it works, but okay.
That's how we're gonna play.
That's how you should sell it.
That's what's happening this
Here's a
year.
red eye.
Kendra, what about you? I'm sure you have several, but if you had to pick one most memorable Oktoberfest experience.
I would say my 6th grade year, it snowed. Like,
Wow.
we don't think about October and snow, and it's been really warm the last several years. But I think that I remember it because I got my first leather jacket that was corduroy, and the hood zipped up on it, had my name across the back of it. So that's
cool.
the one that really sticks out to me, is snow in October. I would love just cool weather. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I'm going to ask for, is
yeah.
50 degrees, you know, a sweatshirt, jeans, not have sweat bees everywhere.
Anything new to expect this year? Any new things you can tell us? Secrets to be excited for?
Secrets to be excited for.
Besides Humble Joe's.
feel like there's
I mean,
secrets you can't tell us.
I mean, there's cool stuff happening,
Yeah.
right? Like, I mean, a lot of the same stuff. I think one of the big things to note is the parade route is changing. It's always went down 2nd Street. Due to the construction, it's going to reroute and go down 5th Street. So it's basically getting the same unloading and loading, everything the same except the route. Trolley is still going to run. Drop off and pick up locations from Seymour High School and down on 2nd Street. So that'll travel along 5th Street as well. So
Gotcha. Now, the Oktoberfest organization itself, I know we talked beforehand, but what do they do throughout the year as far as just helping the community out? And I think they're involved in other aspects besides just that week. And what can you share some projects or some just give back opportunities that your organization does on a yearly basis?
So I think a couple of the big ones that really stick out is we were able to have a pretty good sized donation to the Community Foundation for the Lilly Endowment match that they had running. Last year we created a $25,000 memorial scholarship for Richard Schwady, who was a longtime board member. For us, that's for a kid that wants to do a technical trade. So this will be the first year for it in 2024. So we're excited to be able to give that. We annually give out $6,000 in what we call community support grants. So it can be anything from, you know, they're doing an event or they're trying something new. A lot of different things, activities. I know that, like we gave the Sweet Cheeks diaper pantry, and then we've done the horses out at Rains to Recovery. So yeah, there's a lot of things, and those are cycles from January until June for cycle 1, and then cycle 2 runs through the end of the year.
I think that's very interesting. I think general population, they don't really understand that you guys work year round and you're helping and you're involved. So I applaud the organization. I think that's great. Keep up the good work. That's pretty cool. Murphy, you probably don't have one, but Kendra, I know you do. Or not
I don't
one
know
that
what
we.
we're talking
you
about,
don't have
but-
one that we can.
It's just like
You don't have one we can share.
Okay.
Craziest Oktoberfest PG-13 story.
Oh yeah, I know what
You have one, Kendra?
I do. So, well, during setup, I don't know how many years ago it's been. It's probably been 10 years ago. Dave Rust, you know Dave Rust? Big dude. So we have these wooden map stands that we used to put on the back of one of the golf carts that had like a landing zone, and then he would walk behind and hold it as LaWanda and I were driving the golf cart. I was driving, of course.
Which is scary
And-
enough in itself.
I forgot that was big and that he was behind there. And I went to go downtown and I hit an awning and it fell back, hit him, right? So the joke is that I knocked out Dave Rust, and that's why they call me Lights Out for a long time.
Makes sense. Corey, do you have any additional Oktoberfest-ish
I
type
don't on that
questions?
one other
or-
than no, I do have one.
Oh.
Holy cow! I just thought of this.
Stop.
I just,
We need to stop the
it's
recording
actually
now.
pretty good.
Okay.
So not this dog, but Violet, whom you've met, the Saint
the
Bernard
one
we
that
had.
tried to eat me? Okay.
Yeah, tiny little puppy at the time. Like she was her size at one point. And my daughter was taking guitar lessons at this old guitar right behind, I don't know whatever street that is, but right there behind the steak like tip type booth, I think is what it was.
Saudi Bobby.
Is that what it was? I thought it was like a big like sirloin
No, it
tip or
was
something.
a
Yeah.
sirloin tip.
So we were there, and I come walking out with my daughter, who had taken guitar lessons. We parked down at a Redeemer and walked down, and this guy comes walking up, and he says, tries to offer me money. I said, for what? And he goes, everybody falls on hard times, man. Let me help you out. And I'm carrying a guitar case, a dog, and a little kid. And I'm like, I'm dressed like this. I'm like, dude, I don't feel like I look homeless, but maybe. And he thinks I'm homeless and kept trying to force money on me. And as he's doing it, the guy over here sees it and starts giving the dog food, like steak. And this is here, I'm going to give you guys some too. And I'm like, dude, we're good. We're fine. Like, I have a good job. We're fine. And he says, no, I'm just giving you the steak because my daughter wants to pet the dog. He's like, okay, cool. But then the other guy keeps trying to give us money, and we convinced him, he walked away. But that was a long time ago. But yeah,
But it's
that's
not
probably
where I
the one
thought
got.
that story was
No.
going.
Where did you think it was going to
I
go?
thought we were going to go with somebody wouldn't let you have your dog there, right? So
So that's probably Kendra.
That is a cardinal rule of no pets in the facility. Service dogs are one thing. Emotional support dogs are completely another.
Sure, this
We
is a
are
service
not
dog.
equipped to clean up animal feces.
Yep.
Again and again, and even when we have a no pet policy, every year we are cleaning up
Dog
poop.
poop,
Yeah, and dog poop. Just leave Fido at home. I mean, it's a
Makes
very
sense. I don't wanna
crowded,
step in it.
loud, fat.
No,
You know,
I agree.
crowded, loud situation. People, so keep your smokes and your dog at home.
Yes.
So I'm going to regret sharing this, but craziest Oktoberfest event 3 or 4 years ago, the church wanted to have a scavenger hunt with the teens. So all the parents had to dress up. Well, Justin turned into Justina. So I walked
We
through
need pictures.
Oktoberfest. I'm sure there are.
We need pictures.
With a wig and a dress on and everything else to make me look more like a woman.
That's when you
Probably
started
one
doing
of
that.
the most embarrassing times of my life.
Yeah. Outside of the
it's-
house.
But in good spirits, it's for the kids, right?
yeah. No,
So
that's
hopefully
definitely
we
cool
led
to do,
someone
yeah.
to Jesus that night because I put on a dress.
I'm sure you scared the hell out of somebody for sure.
There's a good chance of that. Well, on that note, Kendra, thanks for joining us. I learned a little bit about you, a little bit about Oktoberfest. Excited next 2 weeks. Looking forward to seeing you drive around on the golf cart. Maybe you've learned a little better as to how to navigate without knocking out people.
We do.
Watching
We
out
do
for the
not have
awnings.
those signs anymore.
That was very good.
Yep.
Murphy, I'm sure we'll see you stumbling out of the beer garden, and I'll hand you a fresh cup of Humble Joe's coffee on the house.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Just
on the
one-
house.
just
you heard
one,
it.
though.
On the house. We heard this. Yeah.
Well, thanks again for coming. I appreciate
thank
it. Murph, thanks for coming.
of course.
What's the dog's name?
Blue. I think that's
Blue.
what we're going with.
Thanks for coming. See ya. Thanks
She
a lot.
finally settled down.